Good morning. All right. It's weather. Did you notice? We actually have weather. It is so nice. I like weather too. The title of my talk today is The Nature of Good. I spent a little bit of time doing some research on this, and you know what? There's really a lot out there. I was amazed. And as I meandered through all the different things that I found and read about, I thought, you know, good comes from so many different places, and it comes from so many different aspects of who we are. So I thought that what I would do is share with you some ideas of where it comes from. Now that sounds like it's out there and you're going to bring it in. Well, the key to that is that's true, it is out there, but the only way that you can bring it in is to be receptive to it. To allow yourself to be open to know that whatever is out there for you, you're willing to step into participation with it. So, the first place I wanted to start is love. Now, love is so many different avenues, so many different things. There's a love of self, there's a love of friends, there's a love of spouse, there's a love of food, there's a love of clothes, there's a love of just about anything that you can put a name to. There's a love for it. The love that we have for ourselves is probably number one. Put that kind of at the top of your list. You would think, well, wait a minute. Shouldn't we put family and spouse and work and all those other things first? Because that's how we participate. The greatest place to come from first is love. If you got up in the morning and you went into the kitchen and looked at your watch and said, oh, I don't have time for breakfast, I got to scoot. Grab a cup of coffee and out the door you go. So when you get to work, your stomach's growling, you're hungry, you're in a rush, and then all of a sudden things start kind of mushing themselves together and creating a not so pleasant day. So if you can turn back the time and go back to the morning again and ask yourself, how could I make that different? How could I first honor and appreciate me? Well, one of the ways is to honor who you are, which is the divine expression of God. So by taking that idea and doing something with it, which could be reading, could be meditating, it could be doing positive prayer for yourself, it could be doing any of those things, reading the Science of Mind magazine, the Creative Thought magazine, doing something like that that uplifts you, that gets you moving into a different way. And then taking time for breakfast, whatever that routine is for you. Because what that does is that feeds you. That feeds the physical aspect of you. You've fed the spiritual aspect, now you're feeding the physical aspect, and then you can go out and bless the world. And be that self-love that you truly are, and can give it freely without feeling restricted, tired, grouchy, or any of those things. Those are the ways in which you can allow yourself to express the different levels of love. By going to work and going to participate in what other activities that you have if you're not working, or you're not, some of us are lucky and are retired, some of us get to do that and do those other things. But the thing that blesses you the most is the respect you have for yourself and in how you show that love for yourself. That's one of the other ways that you can come to that. And when you get to work, all of a sudden, you're this blooming expression of what love looks like. And because that's where you come from, guess what you bring out in everybody else? That same thing. You bring out that expression of love. You bring out that expression of the world is a beautiful, blessing place. And of course, we have some of those people that want to stay in their cubicles, which is okay sometimes too. But you don't have to try and change them, because they'll do that all by themselves. All you have to concentrate on is you. So coming from that space of love is a way for us to do and change the outside world. Simply be being who we are. That's one of the ways. So love is, to me, number one that you would put on the list. And then the next one is light. Now, light is the physical light that we see, and also is the mental light that we use when we're getting our brain active and our mind active into the activities and things that we have. And then there's the spiritual light. Well, I'm going to talk about the physical aspect of light right now. I am blessed right now with having my grandchildren living with me. I have a 3.5-year-old, he's almost 4, and a 10-month-old. And my 3.5-year-old, we do calm down time at night about 7. We turn on Curious George. My mom knows all about this guy. I love Curious George. If I had to watch cartoons all day, that's who I'd watch, Curious George. And this one particular episode that my grandson gets a big kick out of is George wants to go to work. Okay, now George doesn't talk people talk, right? So he wants to go to work. And he has this friend that has this high-rise. And the high-rise needs the windows washed. So his friend figured, yeah, the monkey could do that. So he shows the monkey what he needs to do, and George goes, okay, but there's hundreds and hundreds of windows. So he's looking at this. He's probably thinking in his own little monkey mind, whoa, this is going to take me forever. So he decides that he's going to take the little wiper thing that the guy gave him, and he's going to swing from one side of the building to the other like this, and just swing like that and wipe it off and go back the other direction. That's what he's going to do. Of course, being a monkey, he's very curious. So he looks in the windows as he's moving along the project here. So he comes across this one window that he's already cleaned twice. And it's still dirty. Now, this doesn't set well with George. He does good work. So he stops in front of that window, and he's just perplexed that he can't get this window cleaned. So he decides, okay, so he opens the window, and he goes inside, shuts the window, and starts cleaning the inside. Figuring, this makes logical sense, right? And behind him is this man, and he's sitting at a desk, and there's tons and tons of books and magazines sitting on this man's desk. And he's wearing glasses, and he's just muttering to himself. And George just goes, eh? And so the guy says, there's no light in this room. It is so dark, I can't read. George looks up, and there's lights. He's confused, befuddled. What is this? He looks up, and there's lights. So he doesn't understand. So he gets down from the windowsill, and he goes over to the man, and he looks at the man. And he sees, he finds the problem. So he goes over to the man, he squirts his glasses, and he squeegees his glasses. And the guy goes, oh, my God, it's light. I can see. And George goes, eh? So he can see. So George thinks, okay, I did my job. So he goes out the window and finishes his job. Now, I made the comment that he used his monkey mind. How many times have we been told when we take meditation classes and stuff, you got to get that monkey mind to settle down? Well, that's true in meditation and stuff. But we have a monkey mind that happens all the time when we're paying attention, and sometimes when we're not paying attention. So sometimes we have to be alert to what that monkey mind is saying because it's full of information. You have to be curious, as George is, to find out why it's doing what it's doing. So George went ahead and assisted this gentleman to creating a physical light so that he could begin to enlighten his mental aspect of who he is and allow that mental aspect to spark the spiritual aspect of who he is, to allow that light within him to shine. So if you ever have to watch cartoons, turn on Curious George. He is amazing. He teaches such cool lessons. But the light that I'm talking about is, we saw the mental light that we physically see, and the mental light in our minds sometimes gets muddled, like you have sunglasses on inside your head. When we run across things that we're not sure of what to do with, or we have a challenge, or we have a problem, and we don't have a solution. So when we allow the light within ourselves to draw up or into ourselves the ways in which we can find solutions by using the Windex and cleaning off the grunge or the mist or the film or whatever it is in our minds to make it more clear so that we can shine that light that is within us and allow it simply to unfold and be a beautiful picture. So remember your monkey mind and George's advice. Clean your glasses. If you don't wear glasses, use that clearing stuff for your eyes. What is that? What is that stuff you put in your eyes? Maybe you need that. Clear eyes. There you go. Yeah, use some clear eyes. So when you run into those problems. Okay, the next one is peace. Now, peace is one that, gosh, the world is looking for all the time. It's out there, and you read the paper, you look on the internet, and you could find probably 1.5 million ways to be told how unpeaceful the world is. And if the world only relied on people for its stability, we wouldn't be here anymore, I don't think. But what it does rely on, it relies on that natural instinct that's within it. When I'm talking about the world, the planet, things like that, that it knows what it needs to do. And through its process, the natural process that it has, that it does clear out itself. It is in a peaceful state. Even though we look at the weather today and go, wow, it's actually winter. This is really cool. And then maybe in a month it's going to be 100. This isn't cool. But for some reason, somewhere, it knows exactly what it's doing. So if we take a lesson from that idea and we bring it to ourselves, is the only way that we can create peace is to do it within ourselves. Peace comes one person at a time. It doesn't come in buckets and buckets. It comes one person at a time. So if we allow ourselves to find that place of peace within us and know that we have the ability and the freedom to be able to take that idea and put it to use. So instead of driving down the freeway and there's parks and cars in front of you, and yelling at the car in front of you and in front of you and in front of you for making you late. Instead of doing that, we can come from that place of knowing that we're in our perfect and right divine place at that moment in time. Years ago, there was a lady that attended here, and we had a meeting, and she was late for her meeting. So, we're kind of looking, gosh, I hope everything is okay. And when she got here, she got about 15 minutes late. She came in and she sat down and she says, I'm just sitting there fidgeting in my car, knowing I'm late and making everybody else late. She said, and then I realized that the car in front of me, or the truck in front of me, is pulling a boat. And this boat, and because she was going very, very slow, because he was going very, very slow, the boat fell off the truck. Because she was going very, very slow, she was able to stop and avoid a collision with the truck, with the boat that was coming off the truck. So here it was, the fidgeting to get here on time. And when she finally sat down, she says, I don't know why I didn't use the principles I've been taught. I simply could have known that I was in my perfect and right place, not to worry about rushing, not to worry about letting other people down because I'm 15 minutes late or things like that. Have you ever been 15 minutes late for yourself? Anybody ever done that? Oh, come on. I do it lots. I have a calendar. I calculate things out, right? Well, most of the time the clock beats me. Most of the time. Because I allow myself, I've got 2 more minutes. I can do this and do this. But that's just my challenge. But anyway, the time and knowing that, okay, even for myself, when I short myself time and I start getting upset going, oh, why didn't I get up 15 minutes earlier to get all this stuff done? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? I was in that same dilemma last night, guys. That same dilemma. We had a party yesterday for the youth and family ministry here. And we had our holiday crafting party. And we had about 22, 25 kids. And we were all doing crafts and all kinds of things for gifts for family and friends. And so by the time I got home and I played with my grandkids and helped my daughter, it was 9:30. I thought, oh, I really need to work on my talk. I really, really, really need to work on my talk. So the quietest place in the house is my room. So I went in there, and of course, because I was tired, I thought, I'd rather really just sleep. I really just want to go to sleep. So at 10 o'clock, I looked at the clock, and I said, Susan, just go to sleep. You're not getting anything done. The paper is still blank. Just go to sleep. Set the alarm for 5 and get up at 5. I've been thinking about it, the time, the talk and everything, so it wasn't like I hadn't done anything. So at 5 o'clock, I got up, and at 5:30, I finally got out of bed. I said I was up. I just didn't say I was out of bed. I was up. And at 5:30, it dawned on me. I thought, well, I know what I'm going to do. Why am I frustrating myself? With all this frustration and all this pressure of I'm short-selling myself on time, that I went ahead and said, okay, let's just let it unfold just as it needs to unfold when I get there and all this kind of stuff. So it did, and the things I want to share I think are valuable and fun too. So one of the things about peace is knowing that you have the power within you to make it happen. You have the power within you to be peaceful to yourself, to the people on the freeway, to the people in the grocery store, to your neighbors, to your friends, family, and mostly to yourself. So how many times in a day can you say, I am peaceful, I am in my perfect and right place, everything is evolving in the natural order of things? Even if it looks like you're running 15 minutes behind or you didn't get up early enough. All falls into place. So when we do that, one person at a time, we're amazed at how different the world is. It's a little trick to use. And that. Now the next one is power. Now power, when I work with the kids, when we talk about power, the kids will say, well, you're not, power's mean. So when they hear the word term power, they're thinking, you're being powerful to somebody else, because they mostly think externally. And you're being powerful to something else, instead of recognizing that the power that we're talking about is the power that we have to make our decisions, to make our choices, to make the things that we want to do. We have that power. No one's telling you you can't. The only person that says you can't is you. So the terminology of power is the internal power that you have for yourself, is what you use to make a difference for yourself. Has there been a time in your life where you had to make a decision that you knew would make chain reactions down the line, but you knew it was the best and highest thing for you, and knowing that the chain reaction that falls down the line is up to those people or circumstances in that chain? Sometimes that's pretty hard to look at when you have to make a powerful decision for yourself. So the power that we want to use is the power that comes from that spiritual aspect of who we are. And that's always, always based in love. That's where the power has its foundation, is love. When you have a surge of power that is not in that foundation, comes from another place, it looks like anger, it looks like mad, it looks like fear, looks like all kinds of other things. But it's great to know that we have the power to do something different than that. So using that power is one of the ways in which we can make a difference. Again, not in our life, but in the lives of everybody that we're in contact with. So the power is graceful, gracious, and very loving. So remember how powerful that you are and that you can do things with it. The joy is one that I really love. And I'm going to start it out with a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. And it says, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your joy can be the source of your smile. Which is really cool. And you can put any word in there you want. It could be beauty, love, anything. And I wanted to share with you this piece of paper. One of the things, the little habits that I have, is that when I read a lot, I find quotes that I like. And I scribble them on a piece of paper and they lay on my desk. And every once in a while, I'll pick it up and I'll read it and go, yeah, I really like that. And it goes back down on my desk. So these pieces of paper are my inspiration for just being. And sometimes they come into use with other things. Sometimes when I'm doing prayer work for someone, that piece of paper sitting right there is just the perfect thing I need to say or that I need to share. All of those things. So inspiration comes from pieces of paper that I have on my desk. But the joy, where's joy come from? It comes from laughing. It comes from laughing at yourself. It comes from allowing yourself the freedom, we use freedom a lot, to be who you are. My daughter has this lovely habit. Well, it's not a habit. I don't know when she created it, but she did. She never wears socks matching. She's almost 32 years old. She never wears socks that matches. And I often ask her, why do you do that? I like it. Makes me happy. Okay. And so when we buy gifts for her, we make sure we get to go to the store that has mismatched socks that you buy as a pair. Okay. So that's a place for her. And that was, me, I wouldn't wear mismatched socks. But she's happy with that. So how can you tell her not to? Or say, oh, that looks silly. Don't do that. Say, nope, this is just who she is. So you have to accept her for who she is. Can you accept you for who you are? Can you accept you for sometimes what you think is silly and anybody watching is going to laugh at you? People will be laughing at me all the time if that'd be the case. But there are places and the things that you do that bring you joy. And that is a lot of external, but it comes internal too. When you get something that's funny or you get something that means something just to you, you wouldn't tell anybody else what that bubble of joy is that you're feeling because it would make no sense to them. And it doesn't have to. It only has to make sense to you because you're the only one that knows your truth. So find joy, use it, and express it greatly. And use Thich Nhat Hanh says, the smile on your face is joy, or joy could be the smile. So allow yourself to do that. It's very, very cool. Then the next is beauty. How many like looking in the mirror in the morning? I don't see any hands. Wait till I comb my hair, put my makeup on, or shave, or whatever it is before I look in the mirror. Well, that's our external beauty that we show to the world. And when you show that beauty to the world without any judgment from within, you know what people see? They don't see the hair sticking up all over the place. They don't see, oh, I missed this part shaven, or oh, I forgot to put my makeup on, or I forgot to do this, or I forgot to do that, or I wear mismatched socks. The beauty is who you are inside. Who you are outside is just a gift. A gift of that beauty that radiates inside of you, that comes from inside of you, that sparks the world into recognizing the beauty it is. Walking in nature, I know one of my favorite slides is the one that we use for Andy with the wave, the tunnel that it creates with the sun in the back. I think, oh my God, that is so gorgeous. That is just so beautiful. And I love to look at that slide. And the other thing that it reminds me of is that I could walk through that and probably not even get wet. It's just that kind of thing, where you wouldn't even feel the water as it touches you as you walk through it because it's such a beautiful part of nature. And the nature that we see, aren't you part of nature? I mean, kind of guys, that's where we came from, right? Part of it. Everything that nature is us too. So when I look at that and know how gorgeous and beautiful that is, well, that's me too. No matter what the outside appearance is, that's me inside. That's what I offer to the world. And that's what I try to offer to myself. So the beauty that you are is the same thing. Whether it's a gorgeous flower or whether it's anything. Doesn't matter what it is, whether you like the ocean, the nature, trees, parks, whatever you like. That's where it is. Have you ever seen, I looked at, we have a lot of animal cards, and some of those animals are like, what was God thinking when he created that? Oh my goodness, it's just, huh. But kids don't care. They think it's cool. Can we think that cool about us? It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's a divine expression of God expressing uniquely in that particular animal or in us. So beauty is one of the things that we get to nurture. So nurture the beauty that you are. Give it to others simply by recognizing and accepting them where they are. Because we're all at different levels all the time. So allow that beauty to do that for you. We have the last one. And what I've been sharing with you is the 7 attributes of God, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. The last one is life. We couldn't do any of those other things before if we didn't get the opportunity to be life, to express life, to love life, to be that. And when what it ties to good is, I'm going to share with you that we got a nice letter from the Reverend David Goldberg, who is the publisher for Creative Thought magazine. And of course, this is the last issue of Creative Thought. And if you would like to be inspired by the different people that have helped evolve this over the last 60, I think it's 60 years? Last 60 years? Is that what it is, Lena? 60 years? 60? Yeah. Over the 60 years, there's a few issues left in there. Pick it up and read it. It is the most inspirational thing that you ever thought of. And then you're going to go, why didn't I read that? But anyway, Ernest Holmes writes, let us no longer fight the old. Today is good. Tomorrow will be even better. And that vista of tomorrows that stretches down the bright eternities of an endless future will all be good. For the nature of reality cannot change. It can only be good. So I know we have a lot of changes that we're looking at over the next few months. And so when you look at it, just look at it externally, it's like, oh, this doesn't look good. But it is good. It creates a space for growth. It creates a space for all kinds of things for us as a community and us as individuals and for Dr. Jim and Dorianne and all those people that we all are interconnected with. That's life. That's life expressing. Can you imagine being stuck in one place and knowing that that's where you are and you can't turn around, do anything else, you're just there? Because heaven forbid you make a decision that you're going to go over here and it's going to affect so many other lives over here that you don't do it. And then the question is, are you expressing life? Are you being life? And where are you being it? And life, of course, comes from inside of you. And your life looks like how you think. And what you dream of, and what your aspirations are, and what your goals are. All of those things. When we run into rocky roads, we run into hills and valleys and all those things. And when we're going through it, do you ever hear people make the comment, good God? Does that make sense? They're referring to something that doesn't look very good, and they say, good God. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you have to think about that. Because I catch myself doing that. Good God, why did you do that? Because it was the thing that life gives. It's the thing that you move forward with. So I thought that was kind of cool when I thought about it. That, you know, that's really something different that's allowing me to evolve. I can express something that seems to be negative, yet I'm saying something very joyous. God is good. Can't be anything but good. And what we see or look at as bad or negative or awful or anything else, it's just in a different box. Just as we did in the meditation, the gift box. That inside is the pages that you can write on and you can make your life be what it is and what you want it to be. Well, good comes from that. Again, even if it looks like it's not good. Just say, good God. Because if you are, you're affirming the greatness that it is, not the negativity that we are experiencing or that we see or is the challenge that doesn't look good. When you say that, what a difference you make for yourself. And it just dawned on me, I don't know, a couple months ago when I said that. Why do I say that? Because it's really a good thing. So good comes from everywhere. It comes from places that we could not even imagine. And when it does show up, which is, if you think about it, it shows up in every breath you take. Every thought you think is where good resides, even if it looks like it's not. Just repeat, good God. Okay. One of the other little tidbits I have here that I wanted to share with you is in where good comes from. I am keeping my whole mind and thought and expectations open to new experiences, to happier events, to a more complete self-expression. And that's by Ernest Holmes. So when I wrote this one, I don't know, I think 6-7 months ago. But at the time, it hit me, and I don't know, I just liked it. So I put it aside. And I've used it several times in my practitioner work to remind not only myself, which is where the practitioner works from myself, and to help someone else remind themselves that they have that power. There's power, and there's beauty, and there's joy, and there's life, all in this little quote. All of them are in there. And the very best one, I'm going to save this piece of paper for last, because I'm going to go to my almost last. This is a article by Ernest Holmes that I found that I liked. And I decided that, you know, I don't know who I talked to make this change, but maybe you guys can help me out with that. I think we need to have 8 attributes of God. And I don't know who to talk to change it. So I was thinking maybe if I shared it with you guys, you'd be able to change it for yourself, and then maybe it'll just kind of spiral from there. Number 8 would be inspiration. Because we're inspired all the time. And Ernest Holmes used inspiration in lots and lots of his writings. So from here on out, if you agree, I'm going to add 8. And it's going to be inspiration. So here's this. The greatest good that can come to us is the forming of an absolute certainty of ourselves and our relationship to the universe. Forever removing the sense of heaven as being outside ourselves, the fear of hell, or any state of uncertainty. We are each a part of only life that there is, some part of the eternal God. We are forever reaching out, forever gaining, growing, expanding. Spirit is forever incarnating itself in us. So that's where the greatest good comes from. Where? You and me and our neighbors and the people all the way around the world. That's where good comes from. All those places. So when I said I wanted to add inspiration to that as number 8, is because I've always been taught when you give talks, you should have your notes and you shouldn't hold them up or anything like that, you know. Well, I thought, yeah, right. It's creativity, right? Yes, okay. So I decided I'd be creative today and inspirational today and use my notes and just kind of show you where it comes from. This is where it comes from for me. It comes from little tiny pieces of paper that I happen to read because God forbid that I would have to go back and find the book I saw it in. Can you find books that you saw something in that really inspired you? No. At least I can't. I have a library that's horrendous, and I wouldn't want to have to go through the books to try to remember, oh, I know that quote somewhere. So I write it on little pieces of paper. And they're much easier to find than quotes in a book. So the last one is my very favorite. I just keep this on my computer at my desk. This is my very favorite one. Of course, it's by Ernest Holmes. There is one infinite spirit, and every time man says, I am, he proclaims it as the truth. That's my very favorite. So every time I say I am love. Well, you know, let's do this to reinforce this little thing. I'm going to, you guys know what readback is? Okay, I'll make a statement and then you guys repeat it back to me. Okay? So I'd like you to do this with me. Okay. God is love.
God is love.
I am love.
I am love.
God is light.
God is light.
I am light.
I am light.
God is peace.
God is peace.
I am peace.
I am peace.
God is power.
God is power.
I am power.
I am power.
God is joy.
God is joy.
I am joy.
I am joy.
God is beauty.
God is beauty.
I am beauty.
I am beauty.
God is life.
God is life.
I am life.
I am life.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Yes, we're back.
Oh, inspiration. Okay, God is inspiration.
God is inspiration.
I am inspiration. There we go. Thank you.